Okay, great. Why don't we get started?
Yes, let's start. Hi, everyone. Let's get started. Happy to have you here to join us for a talk on a legal tech solution for automated patent prosecution at the USPTO, Temburi. My name is Nino Vasic, and I will be your host today. Temburi is a cloud-based AI platform for automating patent prosecution, and as we like to say, it is a platform made with love for patent professionals by patent professionals. So we have here patent professional to break down platform for you, Roger Hahn. Roger, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Nino, and welcome everyone. This platform is intended to get rid of the repetitive low-value work in patent prosecution. So as we know, we've crunched the numbers, and about 40% of a lot of the work that's performed in patent prosecution could be automated. Hi, my name is Roger Hahn. I'm founder of Temburi. I'm a patent attorney. Uh, I've worked in bioinformatics, and after looking at how we've approached PAIR and EFS and some of the technologies that's been on the USPTO website for several decades now, I realized that we can do better in terms of performing some of these simple tasks and automating them where we can. So with my colleagues and co-founders, we've built a digital assistant that basically helps attorneys and patent professionals do their job faster and cheaper. Our digital assistant can automate basically many of the rote tasks that takes a human many hours to do. And our target a person that we'd like to help, our customer profile are law firms and corporate in-house counsel. So the first task that we tackled was IDS filing. So, I think it's very common to receive an IDS filing from many different sources and realize that you have to collate them, you have to track them, you have to worry if they've been filed in previous applications. Then you have to download the copies of the PDFs. You have to make sure they're flattened without any of the embedded fonts that gets rejected on EFS. Then you got to keep track of them and then make sure that you file them in all material cases. You also have to create the forms. So there's a lot of copying and pasting and trying to keep track of historical data on different databases. And over time, that sort of bleeds in and started getting very diffuse and lose track of that. So as a practicing practitioner myself, I realized that we need a central database that stores all this information and not only allows you to store it, but immediately allows you to act on that information to file IDSs in related cases. So for example, if you have multiple families in, let's say, a large patent corporate estate, immediately know once we receive a reference from a Taiwanese application, or let's say EPO, to immediately file it in one US case and then file it in related US cases. And then of course, classify that so that we can easily file that in other cases if necessary. And then all in the meanwhile, automating the form preparation, automating the collection of the PDFs, and then of course, uploading them onto EFS if it's a foreign reference or an NPL, which itself can take quite a bit of time, depending on how many references we have. So what we built was basically a system that allows you to prepare, file, and upload. And also sort of underneath that is managing, classifying, and filing the documents with just a few clicks. And we'll get into the demo very quickly in a few minutes because I believe in showing is a lot better than just talking about it. So one, just high level topics that sort of as a roadmap, what we'll go through is that we'll talk about onboarding, which is getting your patent estate into the system easily and flawlessly without a whole bunch of time, because it is a new system and you do want to make sure that your data is imported properly. Basically, at a high level, we scrape pair, we download all the 1449 and we populate that data into our database. You can fine tune that and then you're ready to click file in one click on EFS. So proof is in the pudding. Here is some actual data from a Fortune 500, which we collected over a period of 6 to 8 months. This is an actual patent estate consisting of about 500 to 600 active US matters with, like maybe 4 or 5x of foreign related matters. And we discovered after tracking time and costs over this time period that the average time for filing an IDS went down from 65 minutes to 14 minutes. And the price drop went down from $450 per IDS to $150. This was the build cost, but obviously depending whether you're a law firm or a corporate, it's a different cost structure that you might be interested in, whether you have your paralegals file it in-house, or you send it out to an outside firm to prepare that IDS. Productivity also was a big gain here. What we saw was we went from 3.2 filings to 5.4 IDS filings per day. And really, although that number doesn't seem staggering, but what I think what we can glean from this fact is that the preparers freed up so much time. They were not only able to increase the number of filings by 70% per day, but they were also able to move on to other tasks. So, on a daily or weekly basis, you have a pile of tasks to get through, and no one wants to do an IDS. It's at the very bottom of your pile. You don't want to sit there and click and paste and move stuff over and keep track of Excel spreadsheets. And, there's a high cost to perhaps missing some of these references if you neglect to file them in an IDS properly and in timely fashion. Yet it stays at the bottom of the pile. But really what we saw is that people were able to get these IDSs off their docket very quickly and then move on to other tasks that were more important. Well, maybe not more important, but that were also pressing and needed their attention. So we have a few other features here. I think what I'd like to do is just jump right into a demo. So this is the Temburi app. You log in. Let me just log out here. And then let's log in here again. And we will go to our sample company and we will go to a test division. So this is all structured whether you're a corporate department or a law firm in a company format. So if you're a law firm, you have different companies you can add here, different clients. Or if you're a corporation, you might have different lines of businesses, or you might have different divisions. So you might have an IP division, a trademark division, patent division. You might have different business units. Let's say makes widgets A, business B, division B makes widget C, depending on however you decide to break this out. And we have a nice format and structure that gives you permissioning that allows different people in different divisions and different companies to have access. And this also applies to attorneys as well. So we'll click on submit here. And what you see here to the left-hand corner is our dashboard, gives you some high-level statistics, the number of applications that you have. And again, this could be, depending on which companies and divisions, it'll populate and show you which applications you have. You have reference tabs. This basically shows you all references you have for this particular company division. So no more do you have to go out and find one. You can just say, in fact, many people, if they want to find a reference, especially if it's an NPL or a foreign reference, they may just go to Temburi. We've seen people use this and say, okay, I just want a copy of this. Let me download it, and here it is. So you don't have to go around and jump around and look for everything. All your references are here. And also if you wanted to search, very easy to search. And, you can have, thousands upon thousands, 10,000 references here per division, and easily at your fingertips, find them all at one point and very easily searchable. This is a valuable tool for the practical day-to-day activities of prosecuting your estate. This tab is the relationships tabs. What this does is it connects different technical topics to a particular application. So we have this technical topic. We just call it technical. In fact, let's create a new one. We'll call it, maybe widget topic 3. And the power of this is we can now associate 3 applications with this widget topic. So now what happens is, let's say a reference comes in for a particular application for this one. For a Chinese reference comes here. What happens here, once it's associated with this case, it will then be propagated to all the other related cases in this widget topic. And so this is the issue of materiality. So I've got a case or a family where I received a reference for this application that I need to file in the US counterpart. But I also have 2 or 3 others that may also be related. And, rather than thinking about it too much, I'll just click on it and add it to the same relationship. And then I just know that I should file this view reference in these other 2 cases. It's a very quick and easy way of figuring what needs to be um, filed in related cases. This is the task case, which shows you everything that we've done. So we did some test filings today earlier, and you can see all the filings that you have, and then also, what's the amount. This is the amount that will be charged. We can go into pricing later. Materializer is an AI platform where you use supervised and unsupervised learning to classify documents. Now, this is a whole separate topic. We can go down this and we can show this feature in another webinar, but I think what I'll focus on is the core features of this platform, which is following an IDS very quickly. This is the onboarding tab. This is getting your cases into our system. And then also Rapid Uploader. So, I said proof is in the pudding. Let's just start and file an IDS right away. Okay, so here, let's go to my trusty EFS, or maybe not so trusty EFS, depending on which day it is. And so here's EFS, and this is an actual live account with a real attorney. And we have no filings here. So here's no IDS filings currently. And what we want to do is very quickly file an IDS for this case. This is an actual case. We have permission to do this. It's actually, I think, already patented, and we're just showing it for purposes of EFS on how it uploads. One thing I should note here at the top is that we don't ever actually file anything on your behalf. All we do is upload the documents, and then the actual human themselves has to eventually hit the submit button. Okay, so here is the application number. Here's the confirmation number. And let's say I have a whole bunch of references that I need to file with this. So it's not patents and publications. Let's say I've got like maybe, I don't know, how many are here? 20 or 15 or whatever documents. These are foreign references in the NPLs. And so, typically what would we have to do if this was the old style? We'd have to go and click each, if we were on EFS, we'd have to sit there and click on each one of these. First of all, we have to make sure that they're flattened, that there's no embedded fonts. And we basically have to sit there one by one and upload these references. And you can imagine if, you have maybe 30 or 40 or 50, let's say you have a brand new case that's from a tech transfer office that has, 50 different NPLs and scientific publications. You have to sit there and do that one by one. And that can easily take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. I've seen it take an hour to do just simple document uploading. So here we're just going to do something what we call Rapid Uploader. So we click on open. We start our upload. And now all these references are in our system, and we're going to hit one button here, submit to EFS. So what's happening here in the background is our system is taking each of those documents that you had uploaded, and is in the background compressing them or flattening them, and then now going to EFS and uploading it. And so let's see if we get a notification here. We get that notification. Oh yeah, let's refresh. Right, and so we got the Rapid Uploader. Okay, so now it's here. And now I'm going to switch back to my EFS button, and we should now see the IDS filing up here momentarily. Be here in a few minutes. Okay, well, while it's thinking, so it's a computer and our system in the background that's going and getting these references and uploading them onto the system. So it's going in the background here. It will probably take a minute or two because I think we uploaded 10 or 12. All right, so let's move on while we're waiting for that. Another feature here that I wanted to show you is references. So let's say you have a whole bunch of references that you want to add to your system. Typically, if you wanted to add in the system, you have to go and upload it and add it one by one, one by one. It can take a lot of time. So what we have is something called the reference importer. Basically, let's say you get a list of references from your client in a international search report, or maybe a new set of references that were identified by the client or by the inventor, and here they are. And the easiest thing to do is just type them. So let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet like this with 100 references that you want to import and start filing an IDS for. All you do is you cut and paste and put it into this box, hit on importer. And what we're doing right now is going out and getting a copy of each of those references, getting all that bibliographic information. And yeah, here it is. So it just did that very rapidly. So here were the six references we have here, and now they are here with all the bibliographic information showing here. So let's look at that. So here's this one that we just grabbed, and so it has the title, name, inventor, reference date, and now we can associate with a particular application. So let's associate it with that one. So now we know this reference associated with our reference, but now we have it here. If we ever wanted to download it and take a look at it itself, it's now in the system as well. Oh, is that the right one? Yeah, it's this one. So let's download this one. It's the PDF. Right, okay, here. So here we can see what we've just downloaded. Okay, let me see. While I've been talking, this rapid uploader should have been complete. Let's see, what do we see here? So there it is. So this is the one that we had just created with the 14 or 15. Let's click on that. And what we'll see is here's all those documents uploaded in a flash. So, whereas this might have taken you 10, 15, honestly, I would say this could take you easily 20 minutes to do this. We've seen it in 1 minute or less. And now you have all the documents uploaded. You don't have to sit there. This one was 162 pages. That you don't have to sit there and watch the wheel turn while it does all that. And there we are with Rapid Uploader. Okay, and so also now let's go ahead and actually file an IDS. So what you'll see here is that we don't actually create the SB08 form. We just upload the references here. So that's sort of the lowest tier, very light touch. Just give us your references and we'll upload them in a Flash. The next one is our sort of more involved one, where we import the references and associate all the references in relationships. So for example, let's say we wanted to file an IDS in, let's switch to another company here so we have better test data. So let's say here we have this application. First, let me just delete this. Again, as you can see, we don't actually file anything. All we do is upload. So let me just delete that. Very easy to delete. So we'll delete that. It's no longer here. Okay, now it's clean. So now let's file an actual IDS and using the system that we've shown, where it's tier 1, as we like to call it. So here, this particular case, 16131518, curated genetic database for in silico testing. It's in the database of genetic databases. Here we realize it has, in this relationship, two other cases. So we are looking at 16131518. There's also 15154939, 153906. So what I know here is that if I get an idea or a reference cited in any of these cases, I know to file it in here. And that information will be immediately transported into this. So this tells me this is the total number of references for this relationship, right? And for this case, 5 of those have been cited. So I know that 14 have yet to be cited for this particular case. This is also the references in all relationships. So that what that means is that here I may have 2 cases that's related to this databases, or sorry, 2 references that are associated with this database, 3 here and 4 here. But this case may also have 8 additional references here. If I wanted to see what those 8 other additional references here, I would look at this tab, all references in all relationships. So this is sort of like the catch-all for everything here. And then if I want to look at specifically just this case, what I've done here in this case, I could see what I've done here. The references cited here for this case, 5 of 5. I've added 5 here. I've cited all 5. So let's go back to this case here where I've noticed that for this particular application, 16131, 518, I still have a few that I need to file. So I'm going to select those here, one button. I know that these all should be filed, or, in some cases without, having to look at it carefully, just want to file it. I make my appropriate selections for the certification statement. So I'm going to say one is not submitted herewith. Let's say this was all mailed to us or we were aware of these within 3 months of a final office action. There's no fee required. And so now we're just going to hit one button here, automatically prepare. And so it's going to prepare 14 references for this case. And we're just going to click OK. And so now what it's going to do in the background is prepare the SB08 form, mark it down so that we know that we filed this here in this case. So we don't have to go back to it again and say, oh, did we ever file this particular case or not? It's here. And at the same time, upload all those FRs and NPLs onto Pair or onto EFS for us. So it's working in the background. It's doing all the work. So something like that, managing, connecting, preparing, keeping track of, finding out where those documents are, all that, it could take hours, right? It could take literally hours to track down those references, find out, all the details that are involved with preparing your proper ideas. That could take literally hours. And in the background, our system is doing that all for you. And, momentarily as it's preparing those documents. And here we are. So that literally, how long did that take me? 30 seconds, I would say.
Yes. About 30 seconds.
Yeah, maybe even less than 30 seconds. Yeah, so let's click on it and we will see what it created for us. So here it is. So apparently this was, so there were only 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 of those were FRs. The rest must have been US patents and pubs, because then we don't need to upload it. And that's in fact the case here. Created the IDS form for us. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. And then foreign patent documents. I guess we needed a few here. And it created this form for us. It's uploaded and we are ready to go. Might need to change some of that here. But otherwise, this filing is now ready to go for an IDS filing. So in a matter of seconds, we have done, an hour's worth of work for you. All right, let me go back to here and just go back to the portal. And I don't know, do we have any questions in the chat, before I continue?
No, not yet. If you have any questions, please refer it. Type it in the chat and we'll refer to it very fast. Thank you.
Okay. So I guess the one other feature that we could show is the rapid uploader. And basically what that does is it allows you to ingest your cases in very quickly. I won't go through it because it takes a bit of time, but essentially what it does is, let me pull up our slideshow here again. As I had shown here, what we do is, using a spreadsheet, you just give us a list of your applications, your existing applications. And, typically to onboard in a state, it could, take a bit of time to do that. But here, just give us a list of your applications by company and division. And what we'll do is we'll go out to Pair and we will scrape each one of these applications and get the 1449s or SB08 forms, depending on how far it goes back. And then we'll get all that information, including the name of the document that was filed, everything, and then we will import it into our system. There, we'll have to just make sure that we don't see any of those kind of typos and errors, and make some edits, human edits here on the dashboard. And then this process can take. This process is pretty fast. 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how many applications you have. And then going through the system that could take a bit of time, also just making sure everything is groomed. But once that upfront investment here is done, you can see how quickly we can now start following IDSs, in seconds. So once this information is in our system, the access has been provided to our system. You could see that it'll take literally seconds to go ahead and file an IDS. One thing I do want to show also is I think we're offering a free trial at this moment. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it's correct.
so yes, if you do a free trial, one thing I do want to point out is that what should be done here is you can go to a profile, and just to get you started right away, is that there should be you gotta delegate access to us on their system. So as a user, you would press this button, PTO delegate, and there's a few steps that you need to do in the background to allow. It's basically the same thing as delegating to anyone, a user using the delegate PTO system, and that will allow our backend to go ahead and upload references on your behalf. Management, this is what I was alluding to a little bit earlier about how to set up the user access. And then the final thing is to get you started is to enter a credit card. So for that trial period, I think what we had said, we will not charge anyone for a period of time. And I think we might even have some other inducements. If you could reach out to Nino, I'm sure we have some interesting things that we can provide to you. And I think that concludes our very brief demo. There's a lot of powerful features on here. And as you can see, it can really speed up your IDS filing time. And we'd love to have you try. If you're interested, please reach out to Nino, and we'll set you up with a one-on-one and a trial period, and hope to get you onboarded and start using the system. So, I don't believe there's any questions. So
if there is a question, Roger.
Okay.
There is a question.
Yeah, sure.
By Noel. Do the references that are automatically uploaded pull an English abstract too?
Yes, so that's a great question. Currently, so let's go here to the reference importer. So here, what we do right now is basically, let me pull up that other sheet again. What we do, as you can see, is U.S. patents and publications. Now we can do foreign references as well, and it'll tell you if it's a likely foreign reference. Actually, why don't we find one actually out here? Let's find a from a Chinese patent office. Let's say Japan. Let's get something fairly recent. I think that's okay. So here is a Japanese reference, and on Google it'll show you in English. So, but here it is. If you download the PDF, here it is in Japanese. So this is JP 2021, and so let's import that. So I'll go here and import. So it's a likely foreign reference. It'll tell you that that we know that's a likely foreign reference. Click on OK, and it should show in a second that it's here. Here, this is it, right? Okay, so here it is. So we just imported the reference, and we have the title, the name. Now we're working on some of the inventor because it's scraped in Japanese, but we can associate with the application as I had said. And now we can take a look. We have a copy of it. here. So here's a copy of that Japanese reference that we're just looking at. This is the same one. The one thing about the abstract that you had asked is a feature that we are currently working on, and it's a great question that you just hit on that right away. What we intend to do, and I don't know where, I'll get back to you on the status of where we are in the pipeline of completing that. What we will do is we will go and get the English machine translated version of this patent, of this Japanese patent, the one that we just saw. We will get the machine translated version, and then we will append it. So we'll attach it at the bottom here to this Japanese document. So what you will have here, JP 2012, whatever, foreign reference, you will have the Japanese copy and then the machine translated version in English copy, not just the abstract, but the whole thing in English. And some of them are pretty good. It's the same version that the EPO uses. And we will append it to this document. And that way, when you want to file, it'll be that same process. Just click on one and you will have that foreign reference with the English. And it's actually even better. It's not just the abstract. I mean, I'm not sure, Doel, if you're would prefer an abstract or a full language translation, but the full English language translation translated by machine will be attached to this. So think again, in literally the space of 2 seconds, you will have not just the foreign reference, but also the machine translated version, all appended together in one line. So then when you're ready to file an IDS, all you do is gotta click on button. So let's go here. I think we had found that. So here it is. So it's now showing up for this case. We're gonna click that. So let's file an IDS for this. One button, boom, we're done. We've just filed an IDS. And if it was related in other applications in this relationship, it would show up. You just click on buttons basically. And in the space of, I would say, under 5 minutes, once you get familiar with the system, less than 5 minutes, you'll have found, X number of, 5, 6 IDS with the English translation, all ready for someone to go into EFS and just click hit submit, and you'll be done in 5 minutes, I would say. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. We have another question regarding free trial and my contacts. I will reach out to all the participants and we can set up a demo and set up the account and a free trial. And usually free trial is 7 days. And all what you file during the free trial is free of charge, of course. So I will reach out to each one of you after the webinar is ended, so you will have all my contacts.
Okay, great. Well, if there aren't any more questions, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share our platform. I'm really passionate about this, and I feel like, there's so many things that we can do to improve our lives and our jobs, make things easier, free up time for our family, for other things that are more important. And I think Temburi is a good step in the right direction. So thank you everyone, and hope to talk to you soon and have you join the platform. Thanks.